I've mentioned a couple of times that you can pass parameters into the spreadsheet from the user interface, from the web part. Now, the way you do that, well, in order to do that, you have to create a named range first when you're building the spreadsheet. Now, creating a named range is a way of just identifying a cell or range of cells by a name. So, for example, here, cell C3 is being named the name range turbine. And then later, we will choose which one of those named ranges is used as a parameter, or we can pass arguments to the spreadsheet. So let me show you how you would create these named ranges. There's 3 ways of doing it. I'll show you the easiest first. I can just select the cell. This cell currently does not have any name on it or a named range associated with it. And I can tell that because in the upper left-hand corner, right next to the formula bar, I don't see any named range existing there. That's actually a way you can create a named range. You can just select that, type the name range, tag name, press return, and now that becomes my named range. So for example, if you look here, there's my named range. If I click on that, it goes back to that cell. So that cell has now been defined as that, to have that name range. Now here's a second way you can do it. You can select the cell, do a right mouse click, and choose name a range. So for example, this is going to be start_time. And if you go back, you can see there's the named range, so that looks good. And then finally, in the Formulas tab on Office 2007, you'll see this whole name section. This is where you can also create names. You can select the cell, choose define name, and then define a name. This is going to be end_time. So there are my different named ranges. And if you look at the name manager, you can see those named ranges exist. Now there is a restriction I'd like to warn you about. When you're passing in parameters through these named ranges, you cannot pass Excel functions. So you can't use Excel functions within those cells. That's mostly a problem when you're using things like this equals now function or equal today function. We see this often when people are defining start times and end times in DataLink. Let me demonstrate. See, in here for my start time, I currently have T plus 15 hours. That stands for today plus 15 hours, today at 3 p.m. That's what that means. So here we're looking for from 3 p.m. to, that would be 7 p.m. Now, sometimes people would do it this way. They would say, let's go with the equals today function. Now actually, just today by itself stands for today as of midnight. But if I were to add to that, let's say 1/24, well, 1 represents 1 day in Microsoft's time nomenclature. So 1 divided by 24 would be 1 hour. So that would actually be 1 a.m. If I say, let's go with 15/24, that would be 3 p.m. as you can see. Now that's what I'm saying is not going to be supported when you're passing this as a parameter. So if you're going to be using DataLink for Excel services, you won't be able to use any of your spreadsheets that make use of those functions. You can just substitute either a hard-coded string, or you can use the strings that we use for time, the T for today, Y for yesterday, etc. Now there's a whole series of time settings in Pi, or the time nomenclature that we use, T for today, Y for yesterday, asterisk for current time, etc. It's not the scope of this class, but you'll find out more about that in your help files in Pi.